Hey guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd pop on today and share my sewing plans for 2024. I honestly have felt really overwhelmed with what I want to create and sew, and I thought I'd share these mood boards with you, so in case you're someone like me who doesn't really know what they want to make and finds the whole process of deciding what you want to sew quite overwhelming, hopefully this will give you a bit of inspiration on what you can also sew. So I have the mood board on my phone, so I'm going to have this by my side as I talk through all the kinds of styles that I want to make this year. But the main kind of goal in my sewing plan for 2024 is honestly just to make clothing that makes me feel really comfortable and stylish and doesn't feel really restricting or anything like that, because I realize that's something that I really get drawn to when it comes to styles of clothing. Even today I realized I'm wearing this really cute jumper I got recently from Monkey. I really like the oversized fit, it's kind of knitted and it's a really nice bright blue color, but I realized that I gravitate to comfy clothing all the time in my wardrobe, especially because I work from home. So I've really been drawn to these sorts of cozy casual jumpers, and I have a few patterns that actually replicate this style, so I already know the patterns that I'd use. But I really like the idea of using really soft knitted fabric that feels really casual and slouchy on, but also I quite like the kind of drop shoulders vibe of a lot of these types of garments. I actually came across the, I don't know how to pronounce this, I think it's the Roscoe sweater by French Navy Patterns, and I talked about this on my Instagram recently, but I specifically bought a fleece fabric to make this pattern because I want to make something really cozy and casual. I think an all black sweater will look really nice, and then that pattern specifically has a really nice exposed zipper down the front, and I've chosen a silver zipper to make that. I am also working on a knit fabric trouser. I've been working on this for months and I don't know why I've not kind of pushed myself to get this pattern out there. I am wearing a cream toile that I made recently. I'll put a picture on the screen of what this one looks like, but I found this really cute example online, and basically it's a co-ord set and they're wearing a knit trouser and then a matching knit jumper. That is such the vibe that I'm going for, and I can totally recreate this with my Mila jumper pattern and then this trouser pattern that I'm working on. Hopefully I'm going to get this out there to you guys in February. Again, I think I've realized that I really like wearing knit trousers. I don't know why, I just find them really comfortable. This pattern that I'm working on is also just so comfortable to wear. But I found this example where they've basically paired a cardigan with knit trousers. That looks so cozy too. Again, my Cara cardigan pattern would make a perfect dupe for that look. And when I finish this trouser pattern, that is going to look like such a gorgeous set. I also found this example online where they've basically got like a dress, but it's got like that zip up hoodie sort of vibe at the front, and it looks really chic and casual, but I like the fact it's like a combination of the sweater and also the dress in one. I think that's a really perfect example of the kind of comfy casual vibe, but also kind of sewing something that feels a bit different and not just like a normal sweater or a hoodie. So the next kind of biggest plan that I want to sew this year is basically to experiment with new techniques. There are so many sewing techniques out there that I haven't tried, and I want to use this year to play and just make some fun pieces of clothing with techniques that I've never tried before. So again, I've got some examples on my phone that I really want to share, and the first kind of technique that I really want to play with is basically incorporating cutouts into dresses. I saw so many examples of this in the high street, and one of the dresses that I found in H&M or Zara, I can't remember which one, I posted it on my stories and you guys were like, this dress suits you so well. So I really fell in love with how this looks on my body. That red just screams at me. But I found the fabric of this dress was really cheap and it just didn't really fit me amazingly on the hips and stuff. Like, it was really tight. So I'm thinking of trying to recreate that dress just in a nicer piece of fabric. I haven't seen many cutout style dress patterns, but I've got some examples on Pinterest that I like. They're not patterns, they're just ordinary pieces of clothing from shops, but this one really caught my eye. So this is a really trendy silhouette that I've been seeing on YouTube a lot, but it basically is a knitted dress and it has two cutouts on the side, and then I think that kind of middle bit is actually over the top section. A bit confusing to explain, but there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube of like DIY dresses that recreate this exact look, so I might try making that. And then I also found this black cutout dress, which is totally the vibe that I think I would really like. So it just looks like a normal dress and they've just cut out the middle section. It might have some ruching on the side to give it a bit of texture, but that that is like the total vibe that I think I want to start sewing. And then even just other interesting details, like this is the law dress and it has like these self-covered buttons with the loops all the way down the front. Things like that really caught my eye when I saw the pattern. I don't know why I haven't tried it yet, but this is the year I'm going to try making these sorts of interesting patterns. I also really want to make kind of sexy slip dresses with like the lace detailing on the front of the bust. That is something I really want to make. I don't know any sewing patterns that do that. I need to Google, but I think I might even try drafting something like that and then releasing that as a pattern this year. And then to go with that, I'm also really excited to start trying to sew underwear. I just really want to try sewing my own underwear and I want it to feel really comfortable, not restricting. I know a lot of underwear patterns use elastic and I have seen some interesting techniques where you actually just use binding around the edges, so it's a bit more easy for beginners. So I'm thinking of playing around with that. Maybe I'll make a sewing pattern. We'll see what this year holds when it comes to sewing underwear. But generally these are the styles that I kind of gravitate towards. I like to feel comfortable. I like for it to still look stylish. Obviously not going to make a granny pant, but I think this is the vibe that I'm going for and hopefully I can try and recreate this sort of style. So those are my main sewing plans for 2024, but I do have one extra thing that I want to play around with this year and it's quite a big thing, but basically I am starting to crochet. So I started to crochet maybe a month and a half ago and I am loving life. I'm loving this skill. I've never crocheted before and I just love how tactile and fun it is to do. Obviously when you're sewing on a sewing machine you have to have a machine, you have to kind of bend over a desk, kind of sit there for hours, but I found with crochet it's such a nice hobby that you can do. It's a bit more social as well because you don't have to be kind of in a room on your own sewing. You can be on the sofa with loved ones. It's not like a loud skill, it's just something you can do with your hands. And I've really been enjoying learning how to crochet so far. I'm very much a beginner. Totally recommend if you've not tried crocheting before because honestly I am loving it a lot. So I've basically found a few examples of what I really want to crochet this year. A lot of them don't have patterns because I don't really know where to shop for crochet patterns. I need to find where would be a good resource. If you do know anywhere, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I have been loving researching crochet dresses. Honestly, I love the way they look. I know a lot of them are very much geared towards summer, so maybe these are things that I'm going to make for the summer months, but I love this dress. This one really caught my eye on Pinterest and it just uses a really fun colorful yarn, but then the way they've done the silhouette of the dress just looks so chic and elevated. Honestly, I love this style. I like the look of fitted crochet dresses and there was actually one designer that I found online and the website was called yarnsdesigns.com. I'll leave a link down below, but they have a lot of cool dress patterns. This one I found on there and it's actually a crochet dress with like a ring in the middle, very sleek and sexy, and that is definitely a pattern I'd like to try. I am aware I'm a beginner and this looks very complicated, but hopefully I can kind of gear myself towards a project like that towards the coming months. And then dresses like this really caught my eye because they're very casual and chic, and when they've used like a neutral wool it just looks so chic and expensive. I've also been playing around with crocheting granny squares because I found a lot of crochet patterns use granny squares as like the basis of what you need to make and then you kind of sew them all together to make a pattern. And this bag I found was really cute. It's a smiley face bag and they've used different granny squares to make up the bulk of the bag and then they just crochet a handle to put it all together. I didn't realize until recently that you can actually crochet different designs into a granny square to make a different vibe. There's lots of different YouTube tutorials for this. I need to play around with it, but I think that's definitely a style of crochet that I'd like to try to make more interesting garments. So I'm gonna have a look and figure out what kind of trendy crochet patterns are out there and come back to you if you also want to learn this skill. I know it's different, but it's something that I really want to try this year. I want to kind of push myself into learning a new skill like crochet and just have fun with making more playful kind of interesting clothing. I know this video was definitely a bit of a ramble, but that's kind of what's going on in my brain at the moment and what I'm planning to make this year in terms of sewing and crochet. I personally find collecting all these sorts of images and making a mood board really inspires me to like get making and creating. Sometimes I found it can just be super overwhelming when I know I want to make something but I'm just not sure what, but when I actually have a mood board and I stick it out on my wall, just kind of motivates me and gives me a bit of a better understanding of what I want to create and honestly just inspire me on a daily basis. Definitely let me know down in the comments if any of these have given you a bit of inspiration of what you want to sew this year. I'd love to know what kind of plans you have when it comes to sewing or any sort of creative hobbies. I know a lot of people recently have started to do cross stitch, and I did actually get a cross stitch gift for my Christmas present, so I want to try with that as well. But I know I enjoy making my own clothes. I just find it's obviously really hard sometimes just to figure out what kind of styles you like to wear and actually what you enjoy making. I hope you enjoyed this video, and any links that I talked about in this video I'll leave down below in the description box. I'm honestly so excited to see what this year holds. When you're working for yourself and you're doing something like a creative job, it can be really hard to motivate yourself and look past the kind of general day-to-day grind of like trying to make an income online. So let's see what this year holds. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.